it is my deep pleasure and tremendous honor to introduce to us a man of grace and diplomacy, a man who truly plants the roots of peace on earth. Secretary General Kofi Annan of the United Nations.
Thank you very much, Hedy, for your words and also for reminding us that it is okay to dream. It all begins with a dream, and now you tell us, follow it up with a toast and then action. So hopefully we'll be hearing lots of toasts around the world after those dreams followed by action. Mrs. Disney Miller, I'm really very happy to meet you, and also your 3 children who are here with us this afternoon, and for your own commitment and contribution to this great cause. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, my wife and I are delighted to be with you today, and I'm sure I speak for all of us in saying I feel privileged to be in this magnificent new hall, this masterpiece of urban renewal and architectural excellence. It strikes me that this hall is also a metaphor for renewal of the spirit and resonance of our common humanity. It is a fitting tribute to Walt Disney, whose work touched the hearts of millions. I believe Walt Disney's ability to communicate with people of all continents came from his understanding of universal human values. Values he described as just what most of us are probably thinking every day: the right to live and raise my family under the flag of tolerance, democracy, and freedom. Today I'm especially grateful to one member of the Walt Disney family, his daughter and our gracious co-host, Diane Disney Miller, who is so generously and consistently committed to supporting demining efforts in Afghanistan. I'm equally thankful to Hedy, who founded the Roots of Peace in 1997, and I recall that day in your house when Nan and myself joined others at the beginning of your efforts, and we are really, really very pleased to see how it has grown. And we toast a lot at the UN. I hope each toast will lead to an action like this. Hedy, your astonishing energy and enthusiasm and the success of your organization in helping to eliminate landmines and creating lands for peace and prosperity provide an inspiration for us all. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a special day in more ways than one. It marks the 6th anniversary of the opening for signature of the Anti-Personnel Mine Ban Treaty, also known as the Ottawa Convention. Under the auspices of that landmark treaty, millions of mines have been destroyed and many wonderful partnerships have flourished, such as the one between United Nations family and the Roots of Peace. Today also marks the International Day of Disabled Persons, a day of tribute to men and women and children everywhere who strive to lead full and dignified lives regardless of disabilities, so many of which have been caused by landmines. Some of the most powerful advocates of demining and mine awareness are individuals who themselves were disabled by landmines. I salute every one of them for their courage, and I also salute the peoples of the world and civil society, without whose support and action we would not have had the Ottawa Convention, and we would not have begun to contain the landmines. Could you imagine if we did not have that convention, what we would be dealing with today? At least today we know that the problem is not going to grow, and what we need to do is to lift these mines, and as you heard from Haiti, how expensive they are to do. And today, the United Nations also launches its portfolio of mine action projects for 2004, a catalog of projects of demining, awareness raising, and physical and economic rehabilitation of mine action survivors in 36 countries around the world. I understand you are being given copies of the portfolio, and I hope you will take a few moments to look at it later. Above all, I hope you will remember the bottom line about these abominable devices. Landmines cannot discriminate between the footsteps of a soldier and those of a child. And neither soldier nor child should ever be exposed to the inhuman effects of these redundant weapons. And I have seen at first hand the devastating consequences that landmines can bring when they lie buried silently in the ground years after the actual fighting has ended, waiting to kill and maim. A single landmine, or even the fear that there might be one, can hold a whole community hostage. It can prevent the cultivation of an entire field. We thought of wheat. It can prevent people from going to the field to cultivate. It can prevent children from walking to school, rob a whole village of its livelihood. This threat remains for decades as ordinary people try to go about their daily lives. Many landmine victims were breadwinners. Now they need help for rehabilitation and reintegration. It is a tragedy for them and a serious obstacle to their country's development. So, ladies and gentlemen, the challenges are enormous, but there are powerful reasons to hope. Production of new landmines has dropped dramatically. International trade in anti-personnel mines has virtually stopped. Fewer mines are being laid. The number of new victims is down. Governments, business, and civil society have understood how crucial it is to help people and communities clear mined areas and then make productive use of the land. This is what Roots of Peace has done so well in collaboration with Vinters of California, transforming mines into vines and ore grains in Croatia and Afghanistan, and now in Cambodia and Iraq. One of my most memorable experiences was landing in Kabul airport almost 2 years ago in one of the most heavily mined areas in the world, and being greeted at the airport by a demining honor guard representing 7,000 Afghan deminers. Those deminers have now cleared enough land to allow hundreds of thousands of Afghan people to return to lives free of the threat of mines and unexploded bombs. My dear friends, a world without mines is still far away, but it is not an impossible dream, and it's a dream we must keep. More and more governments agree that mines have no place in the civilized kind of society we want to live in and build for our children in the 21st century. The land and the kind of society in which Walt Disney spoke of raising his children, which I referred to earlier. More and more individuals like you are supporting the work for a world free of mines, working in partnership with the United Nations through groups like this one. I hope many more of you will follow this example. Mine action is just one of the many issues on the United Nations agenda where we need to work in partnership with individuals and organizations from civil society and the private sector. I recall on my very first day in office telling the General Assembly that alone I can do nothing, but reaching out and working in partnership with individuals, groups like yours, civil society, private sector, foundations, and universities, we can achieve a lot. Whether you join us in that struggle against mines, or the fight against AIDS, or protection of the environment, or on any of our other causes, I look forward to welcoming you to the UN family and the challenge we all have ahead. Thank you very much.